What's going on, guys? Welcome back to War Room JiuJistu. We're doing our class recap today, and what we're focusing on today is we're focusing on a couple of concepts, more so than specific moves, which we're going to cover a couple, but we're talking a little bit about specifically concepts, because there's this thing that happens in your jiu-jitsu is once you start to understand concepts over time, you can start being much more creative and kind of inventing things of your own, whether they've been done before or not, right? But you can kind of create things on your own along the way, and that's when you really start seeing people really advance into higher levels of jiu-jitsu. So a couple of concepts we're going to talk about is one, when you're in a guard, when you're running any kind of guard, there's two things that are very, very important. One is that you need to be inside, right? So I want to get inside. Typically, if I'm going to start here, I'm usually going to have my elbows in. I'm going to start, even if they're staying outside, wherever, it doesn't matter. I'm going to have my elbows inside of my knees, my hands in, my chin tucked so I can't get guillotined. I'm going to work from inside. That's where I want to be. Secondly, I'm not going to ever be flat on my back like this. If you're flat on your back with your hips down flat, you're in a whole lot of trouble. You're going to get beaten. I don't care how good you think you are. That's how you get beat. So if people are decent at all, they're going to pass you. They're going to beat you. So, but we want to get inside, not be flat on our back, and we want to get connections. So ideally, right, best case scenario, I've got 4 connections inside. I've got underhook, underhook, foot, in foot, all inside, and that's great. So from here, I'm just going to work on this concept of this table, right? You can see he's got 2 table legs here, 2 table legs here, right? So I want to get my center of gravity up under the table. Think of yourself as like an animal up underneath the table. You're rocking the table, right? So here's the table, and I got to put the center of gravity over one of the legs. So I remove a leg, right? So I'm going to come up here. I'm going to pull his shoulder up. I remove this leg of the table. Now I'm going to lift with this leg to bring a center of gravity over this to turn him over, and that gives me a sweep, right? So that one, Gordon Ryan runs that sweep a lot, right? That's just a traditional butterfly sweep. So we can apply this in other ways too, right? So if he stands up, I've got my center of gravity up under him, right? And he stands up, I've got my hooks, I've got my inside connections. I just grab his legs and push and get a dummy sweep, right? But it's the same concept, right? So I want you guys to really focus on this concept. In general, get your center of gravity up under the table, right? This is the table, 4 legs, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. Your job on bottom is to remove a table leg, get the center of gravity over it to tilt the table that way. So conceptually, I hope this helps you guys in your jiu-jitsu.